I give you advance welcome for future occasions so that we would like to listen to you in future too, madam.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I have taken more time than what was scheduled. So I'm sorry, and I'm leaving. Okay.
Yes.
Very absorbing session, ma'am. I'm Sanjeev Sharma.
Yes.
Sir is our next resource person, next session resource person.
Sorry.
Professor Sanjeev Sharma.
So Dipta ma'am, we will continue to trouble you at Punjab University also.
Sir,
you are wonderful. I listened almost half of it. Sorry, I could not join earlier because we have our classes till 5:15. So immediately I rushed and joined your session. It's a wonderful session. Great.
Sir, I'll convey the message. She left actually.
Oh, okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Sir, after many days, I'm seeing you, sir. Sir, actually,
how is the program going, Doctor?
Program was going very fine, sir.
Oh, great.
Almost
great.
you have covered 70% of
yeah, I could see a lot of familiar faces. Vicky ma'am is there, and Vishali, and so many Swati ma'am. So many of them were there in my programs also. So good to see them. Good to, right.
Sir, can you just give 2-3 minutes break for the participants?
In the meanwhile, if you permit, just to save time, can I start sharing my screen so that we save time?
Sir,
others can have a break. You can please have 5 minutes break. You can go and prepare tea in case you want. It's an afternoon time, so it's raining very heavily here in Chandigarh. So,
sir, it's a common news from everywhere, sir. Raining heavily.
Yeah. This time we have 130% rain. Almost right. Okay, great. So give me a time, Doctor, because I'm not very familiar with the Zoom.
Sir, you can do one thing. You just test the sharing of the screen by the time.
I'll do it. Just give me a minute. Is it okay?
It's coming, sir. Yeah, it's fine. Great. You can just make it full screen so that we can.
That I will. It's okay now?
Yes, sir. Fine. Perfect.
Great. My dear colleagues, you can have 5 minutes break. In the meanwhile, I'll chat with Dipjyoti, my old friend. Doctor, have you got some sponsorship for this workshop?
Not exactly, sir. We are doing it in self-financing. But the good thing is that we are in a collaborative FDP. 2 universities are participating. Vidyasagar University, West Bengal, and our university, Assam University. So, like both of you we are organizing the program.
Okay. Otherwise, next time, you please apply to ICSSR, Indian Council Social Science Research. They give a lot of funding for such research projects and programs. And now even the window of UGC is open. So in case somebody wants to apply for...
we find that nowadays less importance is given to research methodology, but more in artificial intelligence and some other topics. Because
no, Doctor, no. ICSSR is very focused. If you send a proposal to them, they'll be more than keen to finance it.
No, I'm telling about the AICT ATAL programs, because this time also, like, I applied to the same research methodology topics. Like, I don't know why they might not have preferred it.
Participants are from all disciplines. I could see some from economics, some from
economics mostly.
Mostly commerce and business management. Huh?
And they are from 25 states out of 28 states.
Oh, wow. Great. That's great. That's great. So I should skip those with the engineering and medical background. Am I right? They're not much from them.
Not much familiar to this.
Because if I start sharing the research funding agencies, they run into hundreds. So I need to curtail myself into only those which are prominent and where most of the people stand to gain. So that will be my focus.
Sir, you'd be happy to know, like, since we started this program on 5th September, that was Teachers' Day. So in most of the session, what we are doing is that we are dedicating each of the session to a kind of personality of India, great personalities or a great teacher of India. And then like we actually start the session by introducing the resource person. So for that, I think we have to again stop sharing from your side, and then again we'll start sharing from your.
Sure. It was just to try, because I'm not very familiar. So I will stop this sharing. Okay, give me I'll pause share. It's okay now.
I'll do
Or
the
should I
teaching.
It's okay now?
Yeah, now it's okay, sir.
Fine, great.
So I think we can start, sir. It's almost 6:30.
Whenever you want, I'm ready.
So I formally welcome Professor Sanjeev Sharma, sir, who is from University Institute of Management Sciences, Punjab University. He's a professor there, and most importantly, he's a very wonderful person. And he is a regular resource person in most of our FDPs in Assam University. And the topic that I have chosen, he is an expert in that field, and he has also taken the same topic in the earlier FDPs also. So I request Shravani ji to do the initiation of the session.
Thank you so much, Divyati sir. Am I
Shravani,
audible?
your voice is low.
Sir, am I audible? Sir?
Yeah, little, not exactly fine, but little. Can you increase the volume or?
Yes, I have done
Yeah,
that,
now
sir.
it's okay. Now it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. A hearty welcome to one and all to the 2-week faculty development program on research methodology and applied econometrics for social sciences organized by the Department of Business Administration, Assam University, Silchar, in collaboration with Vidyasagar University, West Bengal. I take this privilege to welcome all the participants, the dignitaries, our beloved and respected teachers, and our esteemed and honorable speakers to light up with their knowledge and valuable insights to the ninth day of this FDP program. I also feel extremely honored to have with us for today's second session Professor Sanjeev K. Sharma, who is a professor of University Institute of Applied Management Sciences, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us for today's session. But before introducing Professor Sanjeev K. Sharma, I'd like to take a few minutes to dedicate this session to one of the renowned personalities in the field of education, freedom struggle, and women empowerment. She is none other than Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu was an Indian political activist, an educationist, and a poet of immense stature. She was a proponent of civil rights and activist who fought for India's freedom as well as raised her voice in favor of women education and empowerment. Sarojini Naidu was born on 13 February 1879. She was born in a Bengali Brahmin family in Hyderabad. She was a meritorious student who excelled in the field of education. Naidu passed her matriculation to qualify her university study, earning the highest rank in the year 1891. From the year 1895 to 1898, she studied in England at King's College, London, and then she studied at Girton College, Cambridge, with a scholarship from the Nizam of Hyderabad. Sarojini Naidu was also the first Indian woman to be the president of Indian National Congress and later on to be appointed as governor. Naidu's literary work as a poet earned her the prestigious title Nightingale of India, given by Mahatma Gandhi for imagery and lyrical quality of her poetry. One of the famous quotes by Sarojini Naidu, she said, "We want deeper sincerity of motive, a greater courage in speech, and earnestness in our actions. And these qualities can only be achieved through determination towards attaining knowledge and educating oneself." Now, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce our guest of honor for today's second session and our respected speaker, Professor Sanjeev K. Sharma. Professor Sanjeev K. Sharma is working at University Institute of Applied Management Sciences, Punjab University, Chandigarh. He is a gold medalist in MBA from Banaras Hindu University and is also a silver medalist in MSc in biochemistry from Punjab University. He holds a PhD in management and LLB from Punjab University. He also holds an FDPM in management from IIM Ahmedabad. Professor Sanjeev K. Sharma acts as an executive member of Punjab University Alumni Association. He also acts as a vice president Punjab University Staff Club. Professor Sharma has chaired more than 25 sessions and conferences. He has handled 7 major research projects sponsored by UGC, AICTE, ICSSR, and has guided more than 45 PhD researchers and 5 postdoc fellows, as well as he's a member of post Graduate Board of Studies of the university. He has also offered training and consultancy services to many reputed organizations. Professor Sanjeev K. Sharma has published 3 books and 70 plus research papers in various journals of international repute. Professor Sharma has also handled various prestigious positions at different capacities. He was the founder, coordinator, and later director at University Institute of Applied Management Sciences, Punjab University, and is also in the editorial board of Asian Journal of Education and Psychology, Indian Journal of Psychology, and so on. It is an absolute moment of pride and honor for me and for all of us to have such a stalwart in the field of education, Professor Sanjeev K. Sharma, with us. I now request and welcome Professor Sanjeev K. Sharma to ignite our minds with his valuable insight and wisdom. Over to you, Professor Sharma.
Right. Thank you, ma'am Sarabani. Thanks a lot for so kind words. I don't know how many of them I really deserve, but thank you for being so humble. With the permission of Dr. Deepjyoti, my old friend, if you permit, I will like to share my screen. Give me a minute, ma'am. Just a minute. Is it
coming, sir? Coming. Yeah, came, sir.
It's fine, sir.
Yeah, perfect.
Fine, great. So friends, the topic which has been assigned to me by Dr. Chaudhary is on how can we really find out and some way of financing our research aptitude, our interest, our commitment towards research. So if you permit, I will request all of you to be interactive in your session so that we gain from each other. I will be sharing my PPT also with Dr. Chaudhary so that he can distribute it to others. See, Dr. I have made a lot of changes from my previous. In fact, I continue to do it all the time because all these schemes they continue to change. And in the end, with the permission of the organizers and the coordinator, Madam Srabuni, I will request that if there are any questions, you please email me. I will try to answer during your schedule itself. Before you complete this FDP, you should be clear with whatever are the doubts regarding at least regarding my sessions. Okay,
sure,
so that's it's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so since it's an evening time and it's a siesta time, many of you will be taking your dinners early. Treat this also as a feast. Okay.
Sir, just one interruption, sir. Sir,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
This time you are not, sir, proxy.
No, I'm never a proxy. Neither I speak nor I. So I'm just one of you, right? Thank you for treating me like that. In fact, once I visited Dibrugarh, it's a mesmerizing place.
Last time there was some problems during the session, so if you remember what happened.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, so this time I will try to live up to your expectations. It's okay, right? Okay. So what I will do is I will share with you the schemes of various funding agencies. Now, before I do that, I will like to place special emphasis on the new education policy and how education is going to change once you have gone into the full-fledged NEP 2020. Most of the institutions are getting ready, and it is expected that by 24 session, most of the universities and colleges in the countries will be NEP compliant. Okay, so I'm presuming that to be the hypothesis for which my presentation is based on. Okay, so okay. So what is the domain within which we are conducting our research? And as Dr. Chaudhary told me that most of us are from humanities, from management, commerce, and economics. So I will focus my presentation also and my examples also to that domain. To me, the environment within which research is to be conducted is highly volatile, right? It is highly uncertain, it's very complex, and it's very ambiguous. So this VUCA type of a new normal which is coming up is throwing a lot of challenges to us. Gone are the days when application was invited and shortlisted and screened and projects allocated. I have been on the panel of ICSSR for now almost 3-4 years, and I could vouch that there has been a tremendous shift in the way projects proposals are evaluated. The major focus now has shifted to the societal contribution of a project. Okay, so doing a project for academic purpose is good, but that may or may not fetch you the grants. The funding agencies are more keen on what is its social relevance. How is it going to add value to existing literature? And that last mile connectivity, deliverables, they are gaining importance. So when you prepare a proposal, please ensure that right from the title itself to the final draft, everything must have some social connectivity. Without that, projects are not being funded. This is a competitive bidding now takes place. It's literally a competitive bidding, right? You are asked to make a presentation, they screen you. After presentation also they say, okay, once you have done, we have allocated you the project, tell me after 1 year what will be the deliverable, 2 years, 3 years, whatever are the duration. And in the midstream itself, lot of times they may restrict your further funding, or they may insist that you complete your project with it, whatever funds have already been allocated, even if it is only 50% or 60%. Why? Because we are not moving as per the track which we had promised in our. So with these opening comments, so I will request you to please focus on how research is going to be the key differentiator, not only in terms of individuals, not only in terms of institutions, but universities itself. So research is going to, even in this, since I am the director of quality management at Punjab University IQAC, let me vouch with you that 25% of total ranking of institutions is based purely on research output. Okay, it's okay that there is a mandatory requirement for publications per faculty before you move to the stage 2 to stage 3, stage 6 to stage 7 and stage 2, 7 to 8, whatever, right? But more than that, the focus is also now on what is the impact of your project? What is the impact of your publication? So that impact need not be only measured in terms of the impact factor, which many of the journals claim that they have that. It is also in terms of how is that paper being used by your fellow peers. So H index is also gaining importance. We all have been hearing these terms more in sciences than in social sciences. But please remember now the trend is moving towards that. So getting a paper in UGC Care journal may itself not be sufficient. You need to go little beyond that, ensure that it is in a Scopus indexed journal. Once it is in a Scopus indexed journal, then the next stage automatically comes, what is its impact? So in management, we look at the ABDC journals, which have a very high impact, or we look at Indian journals, something like Vision is considered to be a metamorphosis, or right. So these are the class A journals. So let's focus our research in terms of deliverables, and that deliverable will also include, in your case, publications. Okay, so this is the broad gist of my presentation. In 2-3 minutes, I've summarized on what to expect for next 1.5 hours. Okay. Then my third focus will be, in the second part, will be on how to ensure that my research has certain applicability. Okay. So there are typically various stakeholders to my research. An important stakeholder is obviously the funding agency, which has granted me the money. They will be looking at the broad picture. In addition to that, there are the industries who will like to use my research. Then there are PhD students of other departments. They are looking at sorry, how my research is going to help them develop their own questionnaire or help them recalibrate their research. Like for example, a new technique of data collection which is emerging is critical incident technique. Very few of the researchers in India are using this technique, right? But according to me, in Indian scenario, this is one of a good technique, because only those who have actually seen a product or used a product are in a better position to answer your. So critical incident to me means somebody who has exposure to that particular incident. Or snowball sampling, right? Around 2008-9, it was a fad, doing all research with snowball sampling. Now, gradually that is being replaced by the critical incident technique. So like this. So how to recap, and from where this critical incident technique has come? It is not a figment of imagination of anybody. This has come from the industry itself. They say, okay, I have this handset. Try to find out why people like it or why people don't like it. So going for a theoretical research, even if on mobiles, is useful, but it does not serve the purpose of Samsung or on the Motorola or what. So critical incident technique hence becomes little better than snowball sampling or something. So I'm just, this is just a, that's not exactly the topic on which I am supposed to speak, but then my premise is that all my research must be calibrated as per the needs of, and that is why funding will take place. Okay, so rather than looking at the research only from the domain of classical funding agencies like UGC or AICT or ICSSR, let us start looking at the funding from the corporate sector. And who can be a better board than the Confederation of Indian Industry, FICCI, Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, PhD Chamber, Assam Chamber, like this. So that is how I will make my third part of my presentation. Fourth will be on the typical funding agencies we all have been hearing, and I just listed them. And the final part, if time permits and you are not exhausted, will be on the ethics of research and how to share information, what to quote, what not to quote, that part. Okay, so that is a brief. So as I mentioned, VUCA, this word typically emerged from the United States Medical College, or sorry, Army College, wherein they wanted to have some word which others could not understand. And they said that what can be a better word than the complex environment within which army functions. So they coined this term VUCA. But now it is predominantly used in business to develop strategies, how companies can compete in an uncertain, uncharted environment. Okay. Looking at the developing countries' perspective, distance learning is gaining importance, corporate classrooms are gaining importance, but more than that, there is the increased competition among institutions for scarce resources. There were 5 universities with potential for excellence grades given. More than 125 universities applied. It was to given only to 5. So even it is not only the competition between individuals, institutions also are now have to compete with each other. There is an HEFA fund, Higher Education Funding Agency. It receives hundreds of applications, but is able to finance only 2 or 3. So meaning thereby that as research moves into the higher pedestal, you need to find out resources to finance your dreams. Right? Okay. Typically, it is expected that universities will fall like Assam University or my university will typically fall into the research universities. And government has predicted around 150 to 300 universities by 2025 to be of type 1. But please remember, this is just 1/10 of total universities in the country. So that means there will be cutthroat competition on. So they will evaluate the H index of university. And if university gets funds, the faculty gets funds. But if university does not get funds, please don't expect universities to finance their own on their own. Not possible. Most of the universities, since my friends, senior faculty from economics is also there, most of the universities spend almost 85 to 90% of their total revenue on payment of salaries, wages. Typically, almost 85 to 90% of the total. Another 12 to 15% is spent on maintenance of the existing facilities. So you're left with only 5 to 10%. That also if you are lucky in a good university. So, and government says that I will spend 1% of the GDP on this. So that means these 150 to 200 or 300, let's presume 200. 200 universities will be flush with funds. But please remember, there is also a clause that if the performance is not good for 5 years, a university can be demoted to a teaching university, and somebody who is doing well in teaching university can be upgraded to that. So that means getting grant itself may not be sufficient. Ensuring your sustenance will also be there. Okay. All these are available in the new education policy. You can critically examine it, and it's a wonderful document. Right. After almost 34 years, we realized the importance of research in the education system, especially in the typical higher education system. Right. And then we have around 2,000 institutions which will be typically teaching, but undertaking some research also. So, but the amount given for research will certainly be lesser than those given for research agencies, universities. And then typically colleges will fall, where the prime focus will be on the teaching learning processes, and not much effort maybe there for research. So what I'm trying to highlight is that as we move along, research will be the focus of the deliverable research will be the focus of the government. Why this? There is need for this. Please look at this figure. This is a dismal picture. And this has come from the economic survey. This is not mine. You know, we have just 15 research students. Hello. 15 research students per 1 lakh population. Extremely low. And when I say researchers, I also mean the MSc or MA research. Extremely low. Right? And we spend just 0.7% of our GDP on research. I'm not comparing with uncomparables like US or Israel, but look at, even China spends 3 times more than us. Right? They have almost 8 times more than us, the PhD students or the researchers. That obviously will percolate down to patents. Less than 50,000 patents per year from India. And 30 lakh plus patents from China. So I'm not into creating a fear psychosis, but at the end of the day, research is paramount. I'll skip some of them because I'm sharing that. So from where the funding will come? Post 2025, funding will come only from National Research Foundation. There will be an autonomous body which will have people from AICT, UGC, ICSSR, ICMR, DST, all A new funding agency will be created, which will take over all funding from different agencies. And this is going to create a strong research culture in India. I'm skipping some of my parts, right? Those of management would have seen this Michael Porter's model, right? You have private universities which are creating a huge base for themselves. Many of them are not up to the mark in terms of quality, but then they use marketing tools and techniques to lure students. Then there is a pressure from the government and the teachers, right? Because they are ultimately the deliverables they provide. Then students and industry want ready-made people. Then there is a competition from the virtual classes or the distance mode and whatnot. Okay. So if you have to have a research excellence, you must have a strategic plan. And then that plan will have a strong bias towards collaboration. Dr. Chaudhary mentioned 25 states represented on this platform. I'm not the organizer, but I'm very happy that I always take part in his activities. If I'm just hypothetically, I'm suggesting, and maybe out of how many participants? 97 participants. Even 25 agree. Let me propose. Let's collaborate and come out with a research proposal wherein we incorporate common problems across these 25 states. For example, hypothetically, service quality of e-governance in these states. Just a hypothetical, off the cuff. Or extent of achievement of National Rural Health Mission. I'm very sure if somebody like Dip Jyoti or any other faculty takes a lead, prepares a proposal with having 25 co-investigators, no funding agency will ever refuse such a proposal. I'm very sure. Why? Because 25 best brains are in this. But you know what is the problem? How to have a symphony among these 25 illiterate. They are the best. But creating that teamwork is missing. Issues like who will have the first name in the title and who will be the... Those things, if you leave, we are a wonderful bunch of researchers. But it is easier said than done, I know. And this is where many of the Western countries are able to get projects in India, which are funded by the World Bank. Because we do not have that. We don't use that ad bonus thinking caps. Thinking big. Think, whatever I'm saying, just look at with an open mind. Okay, mind is like a parachute. It works only when it is open. And for me, opening up my mind requires a cup of tea. So sorry if I continue to drink tea in this whole session because I'm a tea addict. So this is some of the dimensions in which research is taking place. We can think of something more, but I will skip it at this moment. We will come back to this particular page later. When you do research in management and in economics, typically we look at the skill sets. If this workshop was to be conducted in 1980s, focus would have been on the Excel sheets, on MS-DOS. 1990s, focus shifted to Windows. 2000s, focus shifted to SPSS. 2010 onwards, focus shifted to Minitab, Amos. Am I right? And currently, the focus in management is on structured equation model. Even if there is no need, you will create an SCM model in it. By all means, fine. But tell me, a person like me, an antique person like me who is on the wrong side of 50, do I need to upgrade myself or not to guide my student who is more knowledgeable than me on Amos? So that means as a researcher, as a teacher, I must constantly evolve myself. Why? Because skills are very disloyal. If you don't do it, that student will go to some other. Reputation travels in education, just like a wildfire. Right? Because skills have an urgency. Nobody has the time and energy to wait for. Right? You to learn those skills to impart it to others. Why? Because skills are highly transferable, very transferable. Under this Google Baba, under the internet, you can find everything. Why will the student come to you? I pose a question to all my participants, and I request you to please answer me honestly. Should I teach what I know? I will repeat again. Should I teach what I know? Or should I teach what my students should know? Yes, anybody's opinion. Have you understood what I'm trying to highlight?
Students should expect that the teacher has to teach.
Wonderful, ma'am. Yes. As my friend said, need based, right? But Shweta, ma'am, let me know how many of us are prepared for that. How many of us will move out of our own comfort zones to go to that?
So it again depends upon the interest of the student.
Agree. Interest of the student. Okay, wonderful. Great. Shweta, ma'am, who generates that interest in the students?
Again, it's a teacher.
So isn't it a catch-22 situation? I am the deliverable. I am the examiner. I will examine my own contribution through the student to the society. Is my hypothesis okay? Student, who is a student? Student is nothing but an extended arm of me for the society. Am I right? AICT has, if anybody is from AICT approved institution, AICT has made it mandatory to offer a minor degree in the domain of universal health value, universal human values. Mandatory. And take my word, we in Punjab introduced in 2018. Hardly any student or teacher takes this paper seriously. Why? Because it's only passing marks are required. It's a subsidiary. But for how long? Am I clear? So, friends, I will not blame anybody. I'll blame myself. Why? Because these skills are very, very experiential. Only a wearer knows where shoe pinches. है ना? ये कहते हैं. And these skills will be generation based. I mentioned when I did my PhD, we were using punch cards. We had a big ENIAC machine, ENIAC, ENIAC machine, where we need to punch in a COBOL, we need to punch that data. So, okay. So with this, close this. I think it's getting held up somewhere. Okay. So paradox of my time is that these growing inequalities, a large part of it, I can contribute to the knowledge divide. My friends from Northeast are lucky in the sense that they do not have a lot of migration of their youngsters to Canada and in US and in UK. The colleges and institutions in the northern region, especially Punjab, Haryana, have a very difficult problem. This year, 1.6 lakh students have gone to Canada for higher education. 1.6 lakh students from a small state like Punjab. 1.6 lakh. And if I tell you that total persons who did +2 from Punjab is 2.25 lakhs, you'll be shocked. So that means 2 out of 3 students which should have studied in Indian education system is not studying here. Shocking, but true. So you can well imagine the fate of these colleges. Am I right? From where they will get students? And most of the colleges in this region are self-financing. There is a government aid, but then that government aid is only to limited number of faculty, not to everybody. I hope I've explained the need for research in a very, very subtle manner, but I hope you will also appreciate that this need is going to make it even more and more and more difficult for teachers to ensure that this knowledge divide gets. Some other platform, we can discuss it. But what is the root cause of this? Why are the students shifting to Canada? Is it only because their education system is so great? Or is it that something quality of life which we are not able to offer? So what I'm trying to link is my research contributes to the society, and society in turn repays me back by giving me an environment where I'm allowed to flourish. That is the paradox of time. Okay. These seismic changes which are taking place in education system will create demand for that type of knowledge workers which are technologically savvy. Anyone will vouch with me. I think all 97 will vouch. How many of us had used any digital platform for teaching before COVID? Nobody, hardly anybody. I did it. 2018-19, I had the teaching assignment in France also, I did it. Otherwise, no. They were not familiar. Nor was there any inclination to learn it. But see the resilience of Indian education system. These are not my figures. These are all NESCOM figures. By April 15th, around 76 lakh students in schools were exposed to online teaching, which is almost 15% of total student base. COVID started somewhere around 20th of March. So that means in less than a month, we ensured that these disruptions do not disrupt my teaching learning. In June 2020, we conducted the exams which were to be held in March 2020. Just a 3 months delay, but we never defaulted on any exam anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country. And the same West, which was laughing at us that you will not know anything in technology. Front page write-up on resilience of Indian education system came on The Economist. These are the things to marvel at. Acknowledge the contribution of Indian teachers. All of you are part of this success journey. So what I'm trying to highlight is, if we can succeed in testing times, what stops us from succeeding in normal times? Am I right? Under this Prime Minister's Atmanirbhar Bharat, there was a report by AICT chairman, Professor Anil Sahers Buddeji. You can Google it and you can read it. Almost 37% of the students who are a BTech do not have the skills requisite commensurate with their job profile they want. Meaning thereby that they do not possess those skills which will help them to get a decent job. So we call it as disguised unemployment. They are doing a job, no need of them. There's a mismatch between the skill sets required at the job and skill sets being imparted by us in the class. Why? Because we are still in the phase of offering information products, whereas the need is for knowledge products. It is no longer important to teach them the technical skills. More important is its applicability, use in their real life. So when we move from the industrial to information, what was the success of manufacturing? Success of manufacturing was because of three aspects. My friends will, I request them to disagree with me. The success of manufacturing sector, typically around 90s, was because of three things. One was the concept of JIT, just in time. Japanese taught us that the inventory is literally suicidal. It will eat up your capital because it is idle capital being not being used. Before that, nobody realized it. So just in time. Second was Kaizen. It is no longer to be the great. How to maintain, gain and sustain leadership. Again taught to us by Japanese. That we need to continuously improve. Later on, Michael Porter and Phil Crosby, they picked up and came out with the jingles and whatnot. And third aspect, which really helped information product to be used as an integral part of the manufacturing, was benchmarking. You may differ, there may be other developments also, but if you read over a period of time, the Harvard Business Review's century reports, you will come to know that These are the three major turbulences, seismics, which change the way we look at. So that means if I have to learn lesson from 1990s and replicate the same in 2020s, how to convert this information product into knowledge product. Information I can use. Please note, a simple handset, a simple handset. What has it done? It has finished the life of a company like Kodak. You will be laughing. What has Kodak to do with handset? Please remember, before this handset came, Kodak had got almost 80% world market share. Kodak, Minolta, all that companies. 80% market share of what? Cameras. Now you don't require a camera. Everything you can click here. Everything you can click here. Am I right? See, something far off, nothing to do with me, getting affected because of me. Emails came, postcards on the post offices closed down. Am I right? Mobiles came, pen drives finished. Floppies finished, diskettes finished. Even utility watch is finished. Alarm clock is finished. Am I right? Why? Because a simple handset manufacturing company is able to use the information and knowledge together to come out with a product. I hope you will agree. Yes, anybody, any comments? Because it's an evening time, so it's better if we all learn from each other. So I'll request you all to please, because that is how somebody, Shweta says, show the data. Which data you want, young lady? Hello? There's a comment by Shweta ma'am. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Which data you want? Hello? I think it is for somebody else. Okay, maybe. It's okay. No. Okay. Let's move to. So, what are the constraints to research from the funding agencies? Why will they insist that we look at something else? Even the best of nations are not able to spend a lot of money on research only. Why? Because there is the requirement from the health. COVID told us the importance of even sanitation. Many of the Western countries have a huge outflow in terms of pensions. Name one country which does not have a subsidized system. So all these things require money, and government exchequer remaining same, there is bound to be the competition, and education will certainly require, we will get lower funds everywhere. Now, second is shift from the direct funding into indirect funding. What do we mean by this? 2017, Prime Minister Modi came out with a wonderful scheme of CSR funding for research. Prior to it, it was to be given to institutions. Now we said, okay, if you have a good proposal, you apply to a company, you apply to Tata's. If their project is as per their needs, they will finance you. So opening the window even to individuals to apply for a CSR grant. Obviously, it will be routed through your institution. That mechanism will remain. But rather than thinking of a bigger project, the institution will think 10 times before financing. Even smaller, impactful projects can be considered. So, as the major source of revenue for most of the institutions is the tuition fee, and there is a freeze on almost students will not permit you to increase it more than 4 or 5%. And the subsidiary from government, from the public sector banks is not very, it's not easier to get loan, and or even if it is easier to get loan, students have hesitate to take loans from the banks. So that whole mechanism needs to undergo a change. So this is a typical philosophy we have. Universities work in isolation, laboratories work in isolation, industry works in isolation. Although there is an override impact of the society on all of them, right? But universities are more focused on research publications, labs are more focused on research publications, industry requires products and services which they can easily use and produce. So this is the model I suggest, right? Why don't we have something like a laboratory within a university wherein industry related research is taking place? Center for Industry Institute Partnership. Industry comes out with a problem, gives it to a faculty puts his research scholars into that particular problem, and it solves that problem. So this particular lab is open to industry also and to research academicians also. This will certainly open up new opportunities. Industry has a closed mindset. They will look only at those products which can be immediately produced. Whereas academics typically has a long gestation period. From the concept, it goes, from the idea, it goes into the concept, from concept, it goes into the test marketing, from test marketing into market testing before it goes to commercialization. Industry doesn't want to spend so much time on this process. So it only is looking at the end product, which may or may not be as per their this thing. So only those products which have a marketability, they will pick up. But who will finance the ideas? So those are the issues we need to deliberate upon. So ideally, labs should be based near universities. That is the whole concept of a Silicon Valley. Even in Hyderabad, we have tried to replicate it when we created a financial district. So Bangalore has been an IT hub, right? So that component we already have. But please remember, we need to take that cluster concept to more and more and more cities, right? So again my emphasis is on, rather than being isolated ivory towers, let's collaborate. Let's change our compartmentalized research into holistic and interdisciplinary research. Okay, like for example, I'm keenly involved in this project on smart cities. Right? I have got an AICT project on green business strategies. I have tried to link green business practices in a smart city. What is the concept of a smart city? Zero waste. Doesn't it fit into the business strategies which companies will have? For example, Unilever, or sorry, it's a public platform, I will not name companies. Suppose there is a project of or a product of some company, and particular city says, suppose Chandigarh has a zero carbon emission target. It will not permit anything which is plastic. Do you think company can afford to launch the same product and face the penalty? No, they will have to change their packaging. Now, these are the grassroots interventions. And as we move, again, take the example of typical tobacco companies by name, right? 1978, 79, we came out with the concept of that on packaging, we will write smoking kills. is injurious to health. These companies were forced to shift to growing other crops. So somebody went into sunflower, so they came out with sundrop or sun oil, and like that. So that is the way how research impacts. So shifting from primarily for economic gains, research has to focus on creativity, societal well-being. So not only just in time, but customized for just for you type of learning. Many of the institutions, they have created a mark for themselves for research. Look at the Times Higher Education ranking. Only I think 3 or 4 Indian universities among the top 200. Why? And if you look at their research budgets by Indian standards, they are in no way less than what Harvard or Sloan or MIT spends on individual faculty. So that means something is somewhere needs to be focused upon. Maybe we are spending our research funding too thinly over large number of projects. Rather than focusing on few projects, maybe we are spending on large number of projects, so that the end result may not be very much impactful. Okay, so I've already mentioned the concept of Kaizen in research. Benchmarking is certainly taking place in industry, in research institutions. You have an ARIA ranking, Atal ranking of innovations. Yes, that's a benchmarking. Yes, we have NIRF ranking, National Institution Ranking Framework. And if you look at them, 20 to 25% weightage is on research. So nurturing the talent of faculty and staff, institutions are realizing, because it is the most value commodity is the intellect of the faculty. I'll skip few of them. Look at this trajectory. Currently, we are moving towards a stage where public and private partnership for projects is taking place. But my request to the organizers, Dr. Chaudhary and others, is let's provide a platform of those participants who are attending here. Maybe 50 of them join. Let's find out a collaborator in either the United Nations or the UNESCO or the World Health Organization or the World Bank, and come out with a proposal which has not only pan-India, but a global footprint. And let me share with my 32 years of teaching experience, researchers of Indian origin are highly rated. And Western researchers are more than keen to join us. 2 reasons. One, the decaying age of researchers in Western countries. Like India, their students are also not coming forward for research. That is why they have increased the retirement age of faculty to 75, 70. They're not getting good people at the lower and middle level. Top level is almost fatigued out. And India has a demographic dividend. Prime Minister Modi's building whole almost 35 crore people in the country are in the earning age of 25 to 45, which is more than the combined of all the members of the erstwhile European Commission. %62% of total faculty in Japanese universities is above the age of 55. 62%. It's a huge number. So you understand? Dr. Chaudhary, my session is totally off the cuff. It's not as per what my participants are typically were expecting from me. I'm not here to teach anything. I'm here to make everybody understand and learn from each other. So participatory form is the best form of learning at faculty level, not a classroom teaching. See, it's an idea. It's an idea. It may click to 5, it may click to 10, 15. It's okay. Okay. So from traditional concept of research taking place only in universities, few universities, we move to involvement of industry around 2000s. Now involvement of private sector educational institutions into research. And as we move along, let's try to create clusters or global networks of research. But when you want to collaborate with somebody, he will expect you to be transparent. So ethics committees and all that stuff you need to have. And one common underlying factor which will bind all of you together is the focus on sustainability. So United Nations Development Goals, if you are able to implement at a microscopic level, I don't think there will be any dearth of research fundings. But then please ensure that both individual and at institutional level, there are certain value systems. You or your institution should not be known for all the wrong reasons. I'll skip part of it. Now, since I've spent almost 1 hour, 10 minutes on 1 hour, 5 minutes on this, I will now move to my second part. Any questions on my premise that we need to collaborate, and we need to collaborate across nations, not only across states, not only across institutions, but across nations. Any comments? Anybody would like to? Yes, please. Anything? Okay, it's okay.
Sir, I am interested, but I don't know like how to initiate. Like you may be the best person to advise.
Come again. What's your question, please? What's your comment?
Oh, I said that I am interested what you said, but like I don't know. I'm confused like how to initiate that. So your advice will be like best for me to initiate.
Dr. Chaudhary, since you lot of people, you have a lot of admirers everywhere in the country, right? What can be a more fitting example than participants from 25 states joining you? So what I suggest is, why don't we, those who are keen on after this workshop, maybe after 22nd, 23rd, let's have a con call, let's have a group meet on how to apply for projects, for multilateral funded projects overseas. Multilateral
informal meeting as regards to that, separate after the program.
Yeah, that will be ideal, because otherwise we will drift away from our session. So that is my premise. In the meanwhile, those of you who wish to join us or have some ideas, let's start scouting with those agencies which have plenty of money, and they are having a bias towards the developing nations. So initially I will start with the United Nations, and my special focus will be on if you can, somebody can take care of this. World Economic Forum can be a wonderful platform. United Nations Environmental Program can be a wonderful program. So let's start look at their proposals. Currently, I am involved with one project in Japan, that is JSPS, Japan Society for Promotion of Science. I'm basically developing for them the strategies for their business so as to ensure sustainability at the last mile. So something like this, and it's a wonderfully funded project. Similarly, we can look at something of the United Nations Environment Program, because these are the similarly the World Health Organization. They have pumped in a lot of money to National Rural Health Mission.
It will be very interesting, sir. It will be very interesting, I guess. And I hope that we should sit at least virtually for the same thing.
Yeah. Now technology is a great enabler, Doctor. We need not. I wish you invite me to Assam, but then technology reduces that barrier, right? So why
why
not?
all the funded projects are only related with the sustainability goals of all the 20 topics? Why all the ICSSR and the UGC funding one minor major projects? Everything is related with that. If I wanna get a research proposal for a minor project of ICSSR file, what should be? I haven't thought of for that what we called green one, green cities, carbon emission. I don't know how to apply for that, because we don't know how to write that for the proposals and for this grants, how the institutions what we are working will support, how the UGC will support for that. I would like for the organizers also, can you give me one session for that, for the resource person to explain all the things? Sir, you comment, sir?
You're absolutely right. Young lady, the question is not what we want. Question is of what the funding agency wants. Like, for example, I mentioned the classical case of ICSSR. They had their projects evaluation in the month of August, and I was fortunate to be there. Single important factor was, out of 7 parameters, was its social relevance. See, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to find it out. When it is a social science research, the study has to be on society and deliverables have to be for this society. Similarly, if I apply for a funding to United Nations Environment Program, somewhere down the line, if my project, before I start with my presentation, just give me 1 minute. And I think this 1 minute will be more than suffice for 120 minutes. Whenever you want to apply for some multilateral funding project, I have a lot of them, so that's why I can say it with my experience. The single most important way of getting a project is look at the objectives of that funding agency. My guarantee is 99.9999% people don't even know what is the mandate of this funding agency. I have 98 participants here. Tell me, one has seen what is the mandate of UGC in terms of research? Even one? No. Why? We straight away go to the application form without reading first 3 pages, 4 pages preamble. And there
so
we are.
Social cause related with this society oriented.
No, that is too vague. That is too vague an explanation, young lady. If you have applied to ICSR project, please, for my sake, even last date is over now. Just look at the ICSR. I think they will extend it, but as on date, it's over. Just look at. There is a 3-page list of priority areas. Now you have to find out your compatibility with those areas and your premise, your hypothesis, that in which area lesser number of applications will be there. We don't do those. We don't do those things. If you remember, maybe you did not get the gist of what I wanted to say. My first line was, should I teach what I know or should I teach what my student should know? Am I right? And you thought it's so obvious an answer. Now correlate that, my first statement, with what you are asking now.
Yes, sir.
Many of you thought that just an opener, you know. And I'm very sure that none of us read even the objectives of the research proposal of the funding agency which invites proposals. And do you think this just piece of paper they just want to enhance the pages of those? No, they are very wonderfully crafted things. And when some evaluator goes, they put those papers to him. Hey, look at the proposals in light of this. And every time these objectives change. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने 2018 में फॉर्म भरा था वही अभी चलेगा. No. So that is my first request to all of you. If I'm looking at a World Bank project, let me find out which are the top 5 funding projects of World Bank in India. Am I right? And try to tailor my research around those. National Urban Livelihood Mission is a World Bank sponsored project. My friends of economics will be more than keen to take up the case of underemployment, disguised employment, and whatnot. Can I tailor it as per the funds available through World Bank for NULM? So I will not have to scout for 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. I will straight away jump to 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs for it. See, this is a very simple logic of my life. You do not require AK-47 rifle to kill a mosquito. You have to find out where it is sitting and hit it there. I've answered you, young lady. So, with the permission of Devjyoti, I will request those of you who are keen. Let's tailor. Let's combine together and work out on something. It may fructify. It may not fructify. So let Devjyoti take a lead on this. Anyway, so my next 30 minutes, I will like to share with you certain schemes which are in social science, which are related to funding your research dreams. First and foremost is the research grant, right? Advertisement for the University Grants Commission has come last week. I will share that advertisement also with Devjyoti, and I'll request him to maybe if time permits in the last 5 minutes, I will download those and share the link in the chat box itself. Then there are seminar grants, not only to organize seminars, but also to attend seminars. A lot of institutions have very high rates of paper presentation and registration. Universities get what is known as an unassigned grant, but many of us do not know there is a provision like that. Then there is paper publication award, right? Most of the universities have a printing press. You require money to publish your paper, right? Many of the journals also demand money, right? How to finance it? Then there obviously there is a travel grant, right? Grant for attending seminars, workshops, training programs, FDPs, research orientation courses, refresher courses, whatnot. Like this, a large number of schemes are there, right? These are the, as I said, I will share this PPT with the organizers. So typically, these are the 4 funding agencies for the social sciences. And when I say social sciences, I'm including management, economics, also, right? So UGC is obviously the classical agency. ICSR also is another classic. Then there is AICT, All India Council Technical Education. The only thing is that in an AICT institution, your college must be AICT compliant. Earlier, the word was AICT approved. Now, since universities are free to impart their own degrees and diplomas, so they are not required to be inspected by AICT, they have to submit a self-disclosure application. Anyway, that's. And then there is a wonderful scheme, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, National Mission for Teacher Training. Please, for my sake, visit the website of NMTT almost every week. So many proposals are there. So many proposals. Okay, fine. Let's now focus on the University Grants Commission. I'll devote 10 minutes to this. One is the major research projects, where funding can be up to 15 to 20 lakhs for social sciences. Who can apply for a major research project? Anybody who is a PhD. Second, who is from 2F and 12B college. Can anybody recapitulate what is 2F and 12B? Anyone? What is 2F and 12B? Anyone? All your colleges must be 2F and 12B. No? 2F means you are affiliated to some university, and 12B means you are eligible for receiving government grants. Only if you are 2F and 12B institution that you will be able to get grants from the UGC. Right? In fact, most of the funding agencies require you to be 2F and 12B. Second, you must have a valid NAC accreditation. This is a new condition which has been added by the central government, that those institutions which are not NAC compliant, which have no valid NAC score, will not be eligible henceforth for any funding for research. So this is a pressure on your institution to get the NAC accreditation immediately, right? So if your institution has NAC accreditation, grade is not important. It could even be B or C, but you must have a valid NAC score. Third, you must be a regular faculty. Now, what do we mean by regular faculty? This does not mean the same thing as permanent faculty. Please, regular faculty. That faculty which will be on the payrolls till the completion of the project. Am I right? So that means your length of service must be more or at least equal to the duration of the project. Am I right? And fourth condition, the project must be recommended by the institution. Meaning thereby that institution will provide all support to you to undertake that project. Okay, so that's a major project. PhD, NAC compliant, 2F and 12B, and endorsement by the institution. You have to apply online. And typically, this window is open for 30 days. These days, window is open. In case you want to apply, you can apply. Yes?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
These grants are applicable to standalone institutions, B schools?
Yes. Provided you are 2F and 12.
No, you're not into FF.
If you are not, then I told you in the very beginning, these are the requirements. These four are the requirements.
Okay.
You can apply to AICT if you are a standalone institution.
Oh, okay.
So if you are a PhD, you are eligible for a major research project. But suppose you are not a PhD, or as one of the colleagues said that she's not very sure that
Sorry, sir. Can I ask one question, sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir, now I am working as management under the management category, sir. Can I apply minor project or major project, sir?
Yes. See, please, again, I repeat, it has nothing to do with the criteria of your appointment. Whether you are in a self-financing mode or you are in a aided post or you are on a capitation fee post, any type of post, provide. See, there is no such condition on the individual. Condition is on the institution, which has to receive the funds. That is why 2F and 12B is institution based, not individual based. NAC accreditation is not individual based, but institution based.
Thanks, sir. Thanks.
So even if you are a faculty of economics, or you are a faculty of zoology, or you are a faculty of, say, engineering in a management institute, you are eligible. Faculty's eligibility is not that important as that of an institutional eligibility. All of you are eligible, hence you were appointed. Your requirement is 55% UGC net. That is why you were appointed.
Oops.
So faculty eligibility is not a criteria, right?
Okay,
Major criteria is of the university. Yes, anything else?
thanks. Thanks.
Okay, fine. So if I'm not sure that I will get major research project, or I'm not ready with that type of a big project, I'm just wanting to do it at a smaller level, or maybe as a test market thing, I apply for a minor research project. The difference between major and minor is, major is for 15 lakhs plus, plus duration of 2 to 3 years. Minor is for duration of 18 months to 2 years. So duration is less, money is less. Second, in a major research project, you are entitled up to 2 research fellows. 2 research scholars you can appoint. But on a minor research project, no support. You have to do on your own. Okay. And then the condition is that you need not be PhD. Because when you are yourself not PhD, you will not have a research scholar. That is the logic. Third, doctoral fellowships. Those of your students who have JRF, they get doctoral fellowships. Those of the faculty who are not PhDs and wish to pursue PhD and want some study leave or something, you have a doctoral fellowship for faculty. Okay. In doctoral fellowship, you will be assigned lesser teaching, say around 4 to 6 hours a week. And you will be on duty leave during this period, academic leave during this period. Am I clear? So that means added incentive for you to complete the PhD. During this period, you will be on academic leave. You will continue to do your small little teaching in case you want to, choice. And this will not increase. You will also get increments during this period, everything. It will be counted towards your academic leave. Under the UGC, 1 year for every 5 completed years or part thereof. Okay, so that could be used. Okay, even if you are a fresher, you can give a bond that I will continue to serve for 5 years, so you'll get a leave. Okay, so that. Then there is another scheme, academic staff fellowships. There are wonderful schemes. The only thing is that faculty induction program or early EFIP, early faculty induction program. Those of us who are less than 5 years of teaching experience wish to do teaching in some bigger institution, you have EFIP. You can apply for early faculty induction program, okay, and get posting for up to 5 years in a reputed institution, bigger institution. Anyway, so that provision is also there, right? Lot of teachers from different institutions go to institution like Delhi University or JNU or Punjab University under the faculty improvement program. Okay, chaliye. So academic staff fellowship. But these are types of academic staff fellowships. Okay, you can use it to move to some other institution. Minimum 1 semester, maximum 4 semesters. Because master's course is 2 years, so you are allowed to start a course, introduce a course, and complete that course before you can come back. Okay. Then there are research awards. Friends, a wonderful scheme of. It's a combined scheme of UGC, ICSSR. There are 600 research awards. It's a huge number, 600. 200 for social sciences by the name of Dr. S.S. Radhakrishnan. $200 for sciences, Dr. D.S. Kothari, and 200 for interdisciplinary. You understand? 200 social sciences, 200 sciences. There is a question from Madam Anusha. Sir, can a JRF research scholar pursue part-time? Yes, he can do part-time, but he will have to forego his JRF-ship. You can't have both the things, no? Right? JRF-ship is only for full-time. Okay, you can. There are large number of cases where students who joined as JRF got a permanent job or a regular job, left his JR-ship and joined part-time. Large number of cases. Allowed. It's allowed. And especially after this new regulation of distance education and regular education being common, this will. In fact, it is even permitted now to change your university. After having certain minimum credits, you can shift your university. You can even do coursework in one university and PhD in some other university. So many flexibilities in the new education policy. It's a wonderful document. My request to all teachers is you must read it. You must know what are the characteristics of. Okay, so then there is a travel grant for college teachers. Again, this is a wonderful scheme. Wonderful scheme. What is the purpose? Purpose is that faculty should interact with faculty of other institutions. They should learn from each other. So that's why these seminars, workshops, FDPs are organized. I know online FDPs are good, but they are no substitute for the meeting in a physical mode. Why? Because you learn so many things from each other. Now, this travel grant for teachers for attending seminars and workshops are of two categories. Those of us who are serving in constituent colleges, those of us who are serving in university departments or regional campuses, regional colleges, they get money from the registrar of their university. And registrar in turn gets the money from UGC. Every university gets 5 to 6 crores, what is known as an unassigned grant. Unassigned grant. I don't know where is. What is the meaning of unassigned? Unassigned grant, which is left to the liberty of the university to use. Unassigned. On the other hand, those of my friends who are from affiliated colleges, autonomous colleges, there you have to apply to one of the 4 regional campuses, regional centers of UGC. UGC has 4 regional centers. You apply to them. Upper limit is 25,000 per annum. Purpose: attending a seminar, workshop, refresher course, orientation course, NMTT course, teacher training course, anything. Skill development course. Okay, so that is how. Right. Any questions on UGC? So I've taken exactly 10 minutes. Any questions on UGC? Okay. If there are no questions, I move to.
Sir, like you said regarding the unassigned grants. So whether the unassigned grant is earmarked only for these travel grants?
Unassigned grant can be for any purpose for promotion of research in your university. But predominantly it is used for, it can even be used for preparation of a research proposal for submission to some funding agency. Sometimes, you know what happens? We need to do a small pilot test before we submit a bigger project. Or sometimes funding agency requires 20 copies. They say, give an idea of what is the current status of research in this field. It requires certain traveling to some of the good libraries like Ratan Tata Library or JNU Library, or right. So what do you do then? Certain money will be involved now, expenses. So that is the purpose of ANASAC. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So predominantly it is for promotion of research. Okay, as I mentioned, Kothari Fellowship for Sciences, Radhakrishnan for, right? And then there is, yes, lot of my female participants are there. There is a wonderful scheme of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya that is on capacity building for women managers. Only 6 to 8% of the vice chancellors or directors, there are only 2 women directors in all IITs. Can you believe this? All IITs and NITs have only 2 women directors out of 31. So there is a need to ensure that more and more capacity building takes place among them. Hence, there is a scheme by the name of capacity building for women. It's a wonderful scheme of AIU, Association of Indian Universities. Now, okay. Now let's move to the second. If there are any questions, you can stop me, because otherwise I'm a lazy teacher. I will continue to interact without looking at watch. But if there are any questions, you can stop me there, right? And it's better, since I'm not looking at your chat box, it's better you unmute and throw your questions at me. Okay. Few of these schemes are common, as I mentioned. I'm very much keen on postdoctoral fellowships. You already have, most of you may already be having a PhD, or you have a student who is a PhD. You feel that large amount of work still remains undone in this field. You want to continue in that same domain, or you want to change your domain, please apply for a postdoc. ICSR is very liberal on postdocs. They award almost close to 250 postdocs. There was a time they awarded around 400 postdocs. Because according to the concept of ICSR, is the real research starts after PhD. So you need to promote postdocs. If you are a faculty, your salary will be protected, and you will be granted 2 years of duty leave to pursue postdoc. Meaning thereby, during these 2 years, you will only teach 4 to 6 hours and focus rest of the time for realizing your research dreams. Okay, so postdoc fellowship is very important. Then award for PhD research. If you have done some good work, please apply to ICSSR. They will grant you some additional money for continuing with that research without having a postdoc fellowship. As I already mentioned, major and minor projects are similar for both UGC and ICSR. There is also money available for research survey and publications. For example, I don't want to enter into a bigger project. I'm already a PhD. I don't want to go in for a, or I'm not a PhD, but I don't want to enter into the hassles of doctoral fellowship and postdoctoral fellowship. I don't want a major project. I don't want a minor project. I just want some funds up to 1.5 lakhs for data collection. I need around 70,000, 50,000, 60,000 for data compilation. I need another 20, 25,000 for data printing of my report. So that means major part of the work has already been done. Objectives are framed, questionnaires have been filled up, or questionnaires need to be filled up, all that stuff, different stages. Then what do? You apply to ICSR for Research Survey Award. Up to 1.5 lakhs will be given to you, depending on what is the status of your work and how much socially relevant it is. It's a wonderful opportunity if you already have something in pipeline and you are stuck up because of money. Okay. They also have a wonderful scheme by the name of in stock. Does anybody know anything on in stock? NASDOC. INSDOC is National Science Documentation Center. And then there is NASDOC, National Social Science Documentation Center. NASDOC is at ICSSR, INSDOC is at ICR, at CSIR. What is it? You have some document which is in some other language. You have some document for which only abstract is available, but full paper you need. Sometimes you only have an abstract. Neither the paid version nor the unpaid version is available of that paper. What do you do? But you need it. What do we do? You apply to NASDOC on their application, and they will procure that paper for you if it is available. They will contact the education attaché of that embassy, and like that, they have a mechanism. You understand? So it's a wonderful platform to facilitate your research. Any questions, friends, on ICSSR? Please feel free if you have any questions. Somebody has asked me a question. Thank you. Okay. Third is with regard to All India Council Technical Education. Now, somebody had asked me this question on the autonomous college, and yes, you are covered under AICT, even if you are not affiliated with any university. But you must be AICT compliant. Right? One is the research promotion scheme. There are 3 types of RPS, and this is where I request Dr. Chaudhary to hold a parallel telecall sometime. Let's work on this. There is a NCP under RPS, National Coordinated Projects. National Coordinated Projects, where 3 or more institutions can join together to take up a project of national importance. For example, let's take up a project on reducing carbon footprints. Let's look at a project on finding the marketability of single-use plastic. How to reduce it. Taking up a project of 3 hours. One part of the project I apply to UNEP, second part of the project I apply to AICT. Sounds great, no? Yes. NCPs are meant to work across different institutions. And it also takes care of that typical problem of infighting among members. In the proposal itself, you submit that 20 lakhs given to Assam University, 15 lakhs given to Kurukshetra University, 10 lakhs given to Sibsagar University. You divide it, Dibrugarh University, you decide in the beginning. So 3 or more universities working together in tandem for one project with clearly demarkable deliverables and financials of each institution. Great potential. And let me share with you, not many applications. Hardly any application. What do they have? Many, not hardly any. Because we all are working in silos, apne area. That is not what NEP wants. NEP wants those projects which has an impactful research, full form of. It's a wonderful scheme we have. If time, see, I hardly have any time, so name of the scheme is IMPRESS, Impactful Research in Social Sciences. Wonderful. 3 cycles have gone. More than 600 projects sanctioned. Now next cycle will be open anytime. But you need lot of brainstorming before this. And you can claim as high as 50 to 60 lakhs in this. Okay. See, we are not starved out of funds. We are starved out of ideas. Okay. Some of my faculty will be very good in curriculum design. They know how to develop those program outcomes and course outcomes. And there is a scheme for that also in the ICT. Innovations in curriculum design. Let's work on this. Suppose you have a good idea, but you don't know how to implement it. How do we do it? Let's go in for National Doctoral Program, under which you award fellowship to your PhD student. So you act as a mentor. You scale yourself up from being a teacher to a mentor. And obviously then the similar things like travel grant and seminar grants and whatnot, they're already there. Okay, quickly I'll now rush through other schemes. Since there is no participant from ICSR or CSIR, so I'm skipping this. I will focus now on certain schemes which are from those agencies which are not into research, but if your project is of use to them, they will be more than keen to finance you. Multilateral funds. One is Shramik Vidyapeeth. Shramik Vidyapeeth typically means Indian Workers Union, Indian Workers Limited, which conducts research on workers' conditions and working conditions. Let's apply to them. You can think in terms of project. And then there is a bigger platform, Canvas, International Labour Organization. If there is some textbook, you want to rewrite it, you can apply to UNESCO. Good funding comes from the World Bank. You want to develop some program on Swayam or on MOOCs or on Moodle, Ministry of Information Technology will be of great help. And then there are obviously the corporate houses, which also finance research. I'll devote next 5 minutes to the international bodies, which provide funds for international support, research support. Commonwealth Fellowship. I will do Commonwealth and ICSI together, Indo-Canadian Shastri Initiative. It's known as ICSI, Indo-Canadian Shastri Initiative. Wonderful scheme. Both of them have similar schemes, Commonwealth and Indo-Canadian. Indo-Canadian is easier to get because they are specific to India, whereas Commonwealth fellowships are for all 46 countries of Commonwealth. So chances for more competition is there. This ICSI fellowship or Commonwealth fellowship is for 3 categories. One is short tenure projects. Short tenure projects. Canadians have a trimester system. That means 3 months. So if you prepare a proposal of teaching or launching a course there for 3 months, please apply for a short tenure project. You want to go in for a year project, you apply for a year. You want a bilateral exchange project, you apply for a bilateral exchange. 2 visits by you to Canada, 2 visits by a Canadian to your institution in a year. Fully financed by ICSI. Scheme is open now for the winter session, that is January session. They open twice. So, in fact, now they are making it 3 times: winter, fall, and spring. So this can be a wonderful. Another platform I request is Ukri. UKIERI. Ukri. United Kingdom India Education Research Initiative. 5 formats under Ukri, ranging from 14-day visit to 3 months visit. For research purposes, please. Only research purpose. Okay, you can think of. And then there are another wonderful scheme, ISBRI, Indo-Switzerland Bureau for Research Initiative. Indo-Switzerland Bureau for Research Initiative. Any questions, my friends? Anything you want to ask? Anything? Okay, quickly, last PPT. If you are through with this, then there are Prime Minister Research Fellowships and all that stuff. I'll skip this. I will share it with the PPT. In case you have any questions, please feel free to. Yes, please. I hope Deepjyoti have not taken more time than allocated to me.
No, sir. Definitely not.
Yeah, any questions, please?
Any questions?
Anyone?
This is a huge scope. You can ask so many things regarding the research projects. Please.
मैंने कहा ना, mind is like a parachute. It works only when it is open, right? And
enough time for discussion too.
Yeah. Even.
Please, participants, if you want to know something.
Yeah, most welcome.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, there is at some point there is some discrepancies between the private universities and government universities in context of research funding and all. So how can we bridge the gap between these two? Because private universities are they get easily funds, but in case of government universities it is little difficult. So I just want.
I don't buy that argument. I have never come across a scheme which is where the participants is only from the private sector. I don't think. Do you have any logic for saying so? I don't believe. It is not possible. See, if I share with you the process involved in seeking funds, there is a blind review Nobody knows from which institution project has come.
Okay.
It is pure and simple an Excel sheet of the title and the abstract. Only if it crosses that stage will it be further evaluated. And in that sheet, there is no mention of type of institution, not even the details of the principal investigator. So you don't even come to know whether this is a lecturer or a reader or a professor or whosoever. No, there is no detail.
Okay.
So this is a premise we all make, but this is not the right premise. No, I don't. That, and I'm speaking it with full authority and confidence. Yes.
Okay.
Would it be good if a session on research proposal is done focused main? So I've already done this. What more you want on this? Yes, some comment from Shweta. Would it be good if a session on research proposal?
Maybe she wants steps in writing research proposal, maybe something like that.
That is a different ball game altogether. That is, and that also will vary according as discipline wise. There are some proposals which are for social sciences, some for science, and some for applied science, and like that. So I don't think better is that we look at the guidelines of that, and those guidelines are almost similar in all institutions. But if this person can unmute and share what he or she wants to say, I'm not able to. Okay, anything else?
Any more questions?
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. Standalone.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Sir, may I?
Yeah, please. Anyone?
Sir, initial stage, can you tell me what is a basic research funding project for the initial beginners, not for of a major one? Can you suggest me one of the government body like an ICSS or something for social science, especially for the management? Can you suggest me? I'm interested in doing that funding project. Can you guide me, like which one I have to go for to look for the objectives and for the priorities, like any of the sample formats?
Is currently the easiest and the nearest deadline you have is of UGC. Last date is 10th of October. So their proposals are open. And I think they have a proposal for minor research projects also and a major research project also. If you want to do it at a lower level, say 5 to 6 lakhs or 7.5 lakhs, then I suggest you apply for a minor research project of UGC. If you are you will not get, but you will not get any research support in the sense that some research scholar or no, you have to do it to yourself. That I think is easier, right? Or better still, you go in for the data compilation and interpretation and report writing proposal of ICSSR, if you already have a data. So depending on your requirement, there are a large number of funding agencies. Rather than putting your application everywhere, you better focus on what you want. You want money for what? That is.
Okay. So for the experience, for the exposure, at least I have the
no, exposure is a very vague term. No. It's a very vague term.
Rather than the teaching. Yeah.
So then I will suggest that I suggest that you apply for a minor project immediately.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
And there also UGC is very liberal. They fund almost all good proposals because they know that this teacher is doing for the first time. So we need to support that, inculcate that.
Thank you.
Because they will not ask you why, because in the application itself they will ask you, have you done any project earlier? They will say no, so they will make out this is the first time proposal.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Sir, any suggestions from faculty from standalone institutions?
You apply to the first and foremost Atal Tinkering Lab in AICT. That you should be your immediate focus. AICT, yes, AICT gives you under the RPS, they give you ABC types of projects. You apply for an A project, which is up to 10 lakhs.
Okay.
That's for autonomous standalone institutions, and you don't need to have anything else.
Okay.
But only thing is you should have a valid AICT this thing for that year.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any more
Yes,
questions?
please.
Any more?
I think they're all tired now.
Sir, actually,
You
I
have
was
grilled them for 5 years, 5 hours. Now for 10 days.
I'm not exactly, sir. They are enthusiastic too, sir.
Nah, good. That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
So this time UGC has advertised some. They are
Yeah.
accepting proposals, and I find it a little bit different this time.
Yeah.
And maybe they have started it in a new format this time, and they have opened it in Teachers' Day. Maybe 5 new kind of proposals they are seeking for.
This time they have added. If you look at the column, that's why how I started my presentation. They are looking at the societal aspect of your project, which earlier used to be more on what is the research innovation you will have. Now they say no, research innovation is important, but tell me what will be the social impact of this project. And my feeling is at least 20-25% weightage to that, which earlier was not the case. So that to me. And second is that if you look at, there is a column 6. That column 6 is on collaboration, if any. So they are also looking at interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary research, which was earlier not the case. It was pure. It was earlier, you know what happened? It used to be evaluated only by person of your field. You are from management, a person of expert of management will evaluate. My feeling is now it will be a panel of 3-4 people where people from management and commerce and economics and social science and sociology and anthropology will be sitting.
Sir, is there any one more doubt, sir? Can a government university faculty or a private university faculty and a B school faculty can collaborate and do a project in this case?
Yes. Why not? Why not?
If principal investigator is government university or a private UGC.
Dr. Saab, no. See, read the guidelines carefully.
Okay.
What do they say? They say, I mentioned this. You should be a PhD.
Yeah.
You should be 2F12B. You should be NAC compliant. That's all.
Okay.
So there is no mention of a private public. Anybody is eligible. And you can have multiple applications. That also they are allowed. Each one of them will have a separate PUPI number, project identification number, PIN. That will be unique. And see the characteristic of PIN. It is independent of individuals. So nobody will know, not even AICT will know whose proposal it is. Once you are allocated PIN, it is unique. Not even the chairman of UGC will know. Is supposed to know.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, is there any opportunity for the PhD holders to do independent researches, like those who are not affiliated to any institutions?
Yeah. There is a postdoc fellowship. Postdoc fellowship available. This year around 250 postdocs are there. Okay, please ask your students to apply. Yeah. Last date is 10th of August.
They need not to be affiliated to any institute. Like they need not to be working somewhere.
No, sir. देखिए पैसा कहाँ जाएगा? Money has to go to some university. Yes. So they have to work with a 2F12B institution. Okay. But they need not be permanent employees. They can be students who have done PhD earlier from any university. You need not go back to your own university. You can do it anywhere. Okay, like if they've been like studying during PhD in some institute, former institute can apply. Yeah. Dr. Saab, now they are even allowed to shift their university for doing the research away from the institution where you have done coursework. Okay. Coursework you do at your place, PhD he comes to Chandigarh and does. That's allowed. And it's being promoted also. Not that I'm snatching your students. No,
sir. Sir, it was a wonderful discussion today, sir. I learned so many things today. And I was
always a player. It's always a player coming to your FDP. See, you have developed that bonding with us. And we can't say no to you ever. You know it.
Sir, I think next time, hopefully, we'll be taking you in offline mode. We are getting bored in this online mode. Even people are like, they are joining, but I don't know how much they are effective in getting the thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. There's no replacement for walk, talk, and chalk.
But would have been like very interesting if suppose the number of participants are 150 plus, and if these 150 plus participants would have been in offline mode, that would have been more wonderful. Yeah. When you conduct offline programs, merely 20, 25, 30 is the limitations. So you cannot go beyond that. That's the benefit of online. People across states, people across places can come and join and listen to the programs. So
Sir,
sometimes,
to add to your point, one point I want to add, since it is offline, online, I'm able to attend. Otherwise, I may not be able to come to different places. It may not be possible.
yeah,
So there are
Because
pros
of
and
this,
cons everywhere.
yes.
Agreed.
right
But
now hybrid is getting some benefits, hybrid
yeah.
mode of workshops,
Yeah,
seminars,
yeah,
etc.
yeah. Abhi to, we have another wonderful this thing. This focus on collaborative work. Somebody like Madam said that she is unable to move out. This is not her limitation. This is her biggest strength. She
Yes.
can do the desk job there. And person like me who is always roaming around can do the field work. So we can form a wonderful, deadly combination, as they say in management.
You're right, sir. I'm ready for this, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, Divjot, we stop now. Can I leave now?
Yes, sir. Just 1 minute, sir.
God. Yeah, sure.
Formal introductions.
Sure.
Ji, can you do the honor, please?
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible.
I take this opportunity to thank Professor Sanjeev K. Sharma from the core of my heart for this highly informative and wonderful session. I thank Professor Sharma for providing valuable insights on research opportunities, challenges, and also taking us through the significance and importance of national education policy, research excellence mandate, how to apply for project funds and grants, and on other important topics of concern. I'm sure that this crucial session will help us further in our education and research endeavors. As we all know that a strong foundation in research paves the way for a strong and a developed nation. Thank you so much, sir, for this heartwarming and this inspiring session. I also take this opportunity to thank my alma mater, Assam University, for giving me yet another opportunity to be a part of this wonderful 2-week-long faculty development program on research methodology and applied econometrics organized in collaboration with Vidyasagar University. I also take this opportunity to thank Deep Jyoti sir for beautifully hosting, coordinating, and supervising this entire FDP program. I also thank all the session coordinators and technical coordinators who helped us in putting up this program successfully. I also take this opportunity to thank all my esteemed and respected teachers for sharing their precious time and effort with us and enriching us with their immense knowledge and wisdom. I have truly lived my life as a student again, and I will have this FDP program etched in my mind and heart. Over to you, Deepjyoti sir, and thank you, Sanjeev sir, for this wonderful session.
Thank
Over
you,
to
sir. Thank you, sir, again. And what to say, sir? You are always welcome for any of our assignments, sir. Sir, you are not audible. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. I have shared my email address also. Any participant, I will be more than keen to help them. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Sir.
you. Good night.
Thank you.
So, participants, we are meeting again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.